Welcome to the podcast. This is Michael Ceely, and the podcast is all about sports psychology. Today I'm going to be talking about how to grow more quickly in your sport. If you are participating in a sport very seriously, you've probably noticed that you reach plateaus in your sport where you're kind of stuck and it's hard to move to the next level. So today I'm going to talk about how to do that much more quickly, how to up level much more quickly. If you think about it, when you go back and think about your sport and when you first got involved in it, most likely at the beginning, it was very difficult. It's very rare that you have people debuting in the big leagues or debuting in their sport and being an absolute phenom. Not everyone is a Michael Jordan, a LeBron James, a Greg LeMond in cycling, Tiger Woods in golf. Most professional athletes do not have that rare air talent and ability. Most people who make it pretty big in sports struggle from time to time, actually more frequently than you would think. So today I'm going to talk about how to make great gains in your sport really quickly. So think about it. When you first started your sport, did you struggle? Did you think that maybe you wouldn't make it to the level that you are at right now? I'll raise my hand and say, I, for one, when I first started out bicycle racing, really didn't think I could make it to the level that I did. I made it up to a Category 1 racer. At the time, I was like, I don't know if that's possible. When you think about it, you make your greatest gains when you get out of your comfort zone. When you force yourself in uncomfortable situations, you are forced to survive. And you will naturally level up because you have to. You have to survive. It's sink or swim. The times that I really leveled up in my sport were when I put myself in races that I didn't think I really had a chance in, or I was very intimidated. I just did it anyway, and I came out of it not necessarily having a successful race, but being that much better. I was better. So a couple of examples. When I was a junior cyclist, I was about 16 years old. I did a race at the time in the 80s called the Junior National Tour, and some of the best juniors in the country were there, and I got my ass kicked. It was the first time I had ever raced in Colorado at altitude, and I was just not doing well. But interestingly, by the end, I started doing better. And then afterwards, when I came back, raced non-altitude, I was at a different level. So that's one example. Another example is I did the Tour of Texas. It used to be this wonderful bike race in Texas in the spring, usually like in March, and some of the best cyclists in the world would come and do that. I did that at age 19. I was hell-bent on getting into the race. I qualified for it. And again, totally out of my league, totally got my butt kicked. But by the end, I was doing better. And when I got down to the quote-unquote normal races, I was flying. Another example is I did this race in Nevada City, California. It's called the Nevada City Classic, very famous race. Not as famous as it used to be, but I did it back when in the early 90s. And again, I was very young. I think I was 21 or 22. And I did that race. Again, got my butt kicked, but learned a lot. Lance Armstrong was there. Alexei Graywal, former Olympic champion, was there. Basically, I had no chance, but I just did it anyway. And my friends were like, why are you doing this race? You have no chance. I went there. I did it anyway. And I learned a lot from the experience. I up-leveled because I got myself in a really uncomfortable situation, got embarrassed, got humiliated, all the things that you fear as an athlete. I just did it. And then it was done when it was over. And I came back to maybe the less elite races. And I was flying because I was like, I've already been through hell. It's okay. Now it's just, everything else now is cake. It's easy. So I would encourage you, whatever sport that you're in, look for the uncomfortable opportunities where you can just barely squeak in. Choose events that you're not necessarily going to do well in. Choose events that you might embarrass yourself in. Choose events that will force you to level up to the competition there. You're going to learn so much and you're going to push yourself so much because you're going to have to survive. I like to look at it like this, like a watermark. If you think about it, after a big rainstorm or a monsoon or something like that, the water level in, say, the lake or the reservoir or whatever you're at, the water level rises and it stays there. And then when it goes back down to its normal level, you can see this sort of water stain. And that is the new level. So that's the metaphor I want you to think about, is that look for a chance to do some explosive growth. And there's going to be this watermark, and you're going to be able to see it and say to yourself, hey, I went to that higher level. There's the watermark. It's right there. I actually survived that race. I actually did okay in this event. Maybe if you're in baseball, you're in Little League, maybe you want to do some camp that you don't really think you have a chance at. Or if you're in high school, do a basketball camp where, again, you're afraid to do it. Maybe you're going to get your butt kicked, get embarrassed. Who cares? It's really the best and quickest way to level up is put yourself in intense, uncomfortable situations with people that are a lot better than you. So plan out some particular races or events, or maybe you want to contact a team if you're on a particular team sport, make some connections, and try to find events, try to find training camps that are just barely out of your league and show up. And you're going to be forced to level up because your peers, the people at that camp or race, are going to push you up. Or maybe it's not a particular competition. Maybe you're just going to go training in a particular community or place on the planet, which is the best for that sport. I know that's kind of out of the box thinking, but can you spend at least a little bit of time there? Maybe for bicycling, it's going to Colorado for an entire month. Maybe for baseball, there's a camp in Florida where everyone goes and you just show up, even if you're living in Missouri or something like that. I really want to challenge you and push you to start thinking bigger. Try to find these sort of monsoon type of experiences that are going to set a new watermark in your psyche, in your consciousness, so that you know that you can attain or at least survive a super high level, a level that you didn't think you could even survive. So that is it for the podcast today. It is leveling up through seeking discomfort, growing as quickly as you possibly can. Uncomfortable growth is the quickest growth. Think about that. If you are stuck in a plateau, kind of going through your same routine, maintaining this level of fitness and ability, which is fairly respectable, I want you to push yourself even higher, embarrass yourself, put yourself in intense, hellish situations so that it forces you to grow. This is Michael Ceely's Sports Psychology Podcast. Tune in weekly, new episodes every Monday. If you're looking for coaching, feel free to go to my website, michaelceely.com, and check out some of my coaching plans, and you can level up that way. I can give you some guidance and push you the way you need to be pushed. Thanks for listening.